Good day, everyone. Today, witness as 18 Humanities and Social Sciences grade 11 learners accepted the challenge of representing the 9 major world religions.
They will showcase the key concepts in religions and belief systems, which serve as a framework in the study of religions, the geographical and cultural context of these religions as they originated, and the effects on their followers and adherents.
I'm John Ruben Madhay.
And I am Juniela Julia Sucaldito.
This is Mr. and Miss World Religions 2023 Virtual Edition.
Hello everyone, a pleasant day to each and every one of you. We are happy that after 2 years of modular class, we are now having our face-to-face class. And your subject, Introduction to World Religion and Belief System, is a very interesting subject since you have the opportunity to learn the different beliefs, religions of the different people in the different parts and countries of the world. You will be able to understand why people are behaving that way. Each one of us has our own belief system that serves as our guide in all our undertakings. And it helps us to behave accordingly and appropriately without offending others. What matters most is that we must learn to respect other beliefs, and that is tantamount to love and care for our fellow men. I would like to commend your teacher, Mr. Sunier, for spearheading this activity, the Mr. and Miss World Religion, as well as to all the members of the different committees for giving your best shot and for doing your part to make your activity a success. Also, to the time that is being shared by our judges, for the support of your parents, and of course to all the participants and the contestants for sharing your talents with us. I hope that the inputs of your teacher, Sir Sunier, you will be able to apply that in real life situation and in your own personal experience. As a wise man said, all beliefs are good, with or without reason, for as long as they help you in life to become a better person. Let's learn to be kind to other people because we never know that they have a difficult battle to fight. Thank you everyone. Congratulations. God bless and mabuhay.
I am Kurt Bakaykay,
and Trisha Ann Barbasa,
representing a Chinese religious philosophy and a way of life, Taoism.
I am Mardel Yaga,
and I'm Brent Benedict Fabrete,
considered as the most popular religion in the world, with the most number of adherents among all religions, Christianity.
Konnichiwa, Mina. This is Piolo Valles Susubrado,
And I am Crystal May Pinalver,
representing the very essence of the Japanese devotion
to unseen spiritual beings and powers,
Shintoism.
I am Erica Enzo.
And I am Lawrence Chanciguito.
It is an ancient monotheistic religion that traces its origin as an organized belief system, Judaism.
I am Zorin Nobleza.
I am Eliza Rochelle G. Luceo, representing the youngest and fastest growing religion that also means submitting oneself to God, Islam.
I am James Patrick Romero.
I am Jexy Rain Longo from the world's most complex religion, representing Hinduism.
I am Carol Garcia.
And I am Janian Suganov, believing itself as the more genuine version of Buddhism, Mahayana Buddhism.
One of the most practical among the world's great religions,
Which emphasizes attaining self-liberation through one's own efforts. I am Erica Nicole Sundayon.
and I'm Harvey Sanchez, Theravada Buddhism.
I am Isaiah Dunlaid Pamisa,
And I am Daniela Vinosa Subon, representing one of the most influential philosophies
and belief system in ancient China, Confucianism.
You have seen the candidates in their production number. They were judged according to the following criteria.
Delivery, 40 points. That includes clarity of concept, creativity, and authenticity. Deportment, 30 points. That includes poise, projection, and bearing. Beauty of face or handsomeness, 20 points. Impact, 10 points. That includes appearance, visual, and emotional appeal for a total of 100 points.
At this juncture, let us meet the panel adjudicators who will have the most crucial task in determining the winners of this competition.
The Ruins, Head Tour Guide and PBB Third Big Placer, Mr. Roger F. Lucero. Teacher and Business Owner, Mrs. Mighty Catherine R. Rain. Secretary, Association of Tourism Officers, Mr. Emerson A. Franco. Outstanding Master Teacher, Dr. Lurie Claire S. Strogo. Performer and Seafarer, Mr. Jason J. Wyatt. Director, Career Executive Service Board, Attorney Julius P. Aligrado. Miss Republic of the Philippines, Miss Cindy Maria C. Dumo. Sangguniang Bayan Member, Honorable Ramon Julius S. Sudusta. And finally, Founder and National President of Proyecto Philippines, Mr. Daniel S. Agan.
The religious attires were in accordance with religious practices, traditions, significance of faith group. The backdrop for the religious attire segment is Santa Barbara Church, built in 1845 and is of Baroque Renaissance architecture. The whole structure imposes simplicity and beauty. Its facade is neoclassic, proven by neoclassic pilasters and finials.
Beside it is the convent, reminiscent of Moorish architecture. The interior of the church is neoclassic in style. It has 3 altars, more elaborate than the facade, and an intricately designed pulpit on the left side of the wall.
The contestants will be scored according to the following criteria.
Suitability of attire, 40 points. That includes clarity of concept, creativity, and authenticity. Deportment, 30 points. That includes poise, projection, and bearing. Beauty of face or handsomeness, 20 points. Impact, 10 points. That includes appearance, visual, and emotional appeal for a total of 100 points.
Let us meet the contestants in their religious attire.
Coming up next, we have the Sanctified Attire from Taoism. Miss Taoism, Patricia and Barbasa. Hanfu for women represents the elegance and broad temperament of the Chinese nation and the cultural connotation of simplicity and nature. As for Mr. Taoism, Kurut Surmieda Bakaikai. Dao Pao for men was one of the most common form of robes worn by men as casual clothing. Next, we have the sacred attire from Christianity. Miss Christianity, Maridel Aliaga, is wearing a white gown that represents purity, righteousness, and God's love. The color white is the presence of all the light in the visible spectrum. When it enters our eyes, it stimulates all of our cone cells that God made light sensitive. For Mr. Christianity, Brett Benedict Favorito, wearing a barong Tagalog. Barong usually representing an unidentified creature called keket, who appears at times of celebration, and barong also symbolize of health and good fortune. Coming up next, we have Shintoism. Mr. Shintoism is wearing jinbei. This garment is traditionally used as a quick way to cover the body and absorb any moisture left over after taking a bath. Miss Shintoism is wearing a fiersuit. The fiersuit, currently perceived as a feminine item of clothing. The long sleeves of the clothing are thought to help wearers shake off bad luck, protecting them from tragedy and disease. Next is the Judaism. Jewish religious clothing is apparel worn by Jews in connection with the practice of Jewish religion. Mr. Judaism, Lawrence John S. Sequito, is wearing a long suit that it is a mark of humility and respect for others to dress formally when encountering the world. Miss Judaism, Erica Grace A. Enzo, is wearing tickle to cover her head. This usually means trousers are not worn, and skirts and dresses must fall below the knee, including when sitting. Arms are covered to the elbow and necklines are high cut. Next, we have Islam. Mr. Islam Zore Nobleza is wearing a kufi and thobe. A kufi is a skull cap. A thobe is a long robe. Wearing a loose-fitting thobe ensures men are properly covered. Miss Islam Eliza Crichel Luceo is wearing a hijab. The hijab is a type of covering. It represents modesty, privacy, and morality. Next, we have the religious attire for Hinduism. Mr. Hinduism, James Patrick Romero, is dressed in dhoti kurta. According to the religious scriptures, it is appropriate for men to wear dhoti kurtas every day while performing religious rituals and during festivals. Miss Hinduism, Jexi Rain Longna, is dressed in a sari. Saris are occasionally worn on several Hindu festivals, such as Holi, Durga Puja, and Diwali. In Indian culture and beliefs, a sari is the symbol of a deity. And now, let us begin to the upcoming blessed attire from Mahayana Buddhism. Mr. Mahayana Buddhism, John Leon Suganda, is wearing Suweya Frarachatan. It is a bottom-up shirt with an extended collar, long sleeves for formal occasions. The pakama, a large rectangular piece of fabric, is often worn by men by wrapping around the waist. As for Miss Mahayana Buddhism, Carol Garcia is wearing the golden asaba, contemporary take on the traditional dress, such as the breast covering, sabao, sarongwara, zin, and frontal pleats. Coming up next, we have the consecrated attire from Theravada Buddhism. Erica Nicole Sundayo and Harvey Sanchez are wearing a traditional Cambodian Theravada naga. With them is an elephant figure which signifies the elephant of light, that brought the sign of the birth of the Buddha. And on to the last representative, we have the elegant attire from Confucianism. Daniela Suron is wearing a hanfu, traditional attire of Zhou dynasty. Hanfu in the Zhou dynasty were used as a status symbol to accentuate their privileges, which had a substantial impact on clothes and ornaments, owing to great differences between the nobility and the common people. Hanfu is the traditional styles of clothing worn by the Han Chinese.
Nestled in the heart of the town is the Victory Plaza of Santa Barbara. It is considered as a favorite haunt of young and old, especially during afternoons and early evenings.
Its main feature is the bandstand, which is a octagonal-shaped structure constructed in 1925. It serves as venue to various political gatherings and other social activities in the town.
This will serve as a background for our talent and skills segment. Here are the criteria for judging.
Showmanship, 40 points. That includes clarity of concept, creativity, and uniqueness. Mastery, 30 points. That includes performance, fluidity, and presence. Costume and props, 20 points. Impact, 10 points. That includes appearance, visual, and emotional appeal for a total of 100 points.
Let us witness the talent and skills competition starting with pair number 1.
Coming straight from number 1, we have Taoism. Tai Chi draws upon the Taoist principles of yielding, softness, slowness, balance, and rootedness in its movements in both the health and martial applications. The names of many movements depict the principles and the appreciation of nature. And we move on to the next contestant. We have the saintly talent of Christianity. Jesus is our way maker. When there is no way, Jesus brings a refreshing in our lives when we are surrounded by desert. Jesus shines His light and shows us a way out of the darkness that is closing in. If God put a desire in your heart to dance, sing, or create another form of art, you were made to use your talents to glorify God.
You are here, working in this place. I worship you. I worship you. You are waymaker, miracle worker, promise keeper, light in the darkness. My God, that is who you are.
Coming up next, we have Shintoism. Senbon Zakura originates from Japan and is about the revamping of Japan or the Meiji Restoration. It shows many cultural references such as the oriental music and the kimono-like outfits Miku and the other Vocaloids are wearing. Senbon Zakura has many interpretations of the dance, many being true to the cultural references and others being more energetic and hip. But we prefer to dance our heart out with a song, especially if the upbeat music is in rain. 'Let us proceed to the following contestant. We have Judaism. Joyful Jewish dance is a tool for expressing joy and is believed to purify the soul, promote spiritual elation, and unify the community. It also thought to stimulate joy and therefore to have a therapeutic effect. It is traditionally danced at Jewish weddings and other joyous occasions in the Jewish community.
תשמח רעים אהובים, שמח, תשמח רעים אהובים, אוי כשמח החי יצירך, בגן עדן מקדם, כשמח החי יצירך, בגן עדן מקדם, אוי כשמח החי יצירך, בגן צירך בגן עדן מקדם טירידודם 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 טירידודם
And now, to the upcoming contestant, we have the talented Islam. Muhammad Nabina is a song that is associated with Islam. This hymn was sung by Muhammad's supporters upon his arrival from Mecca. Muhammad is a prophet of the Islamic faith as well as God's messenger. The song is about seeking direction from Muhammad, being appreciative, praising Allah, and seeking direction to become like him. Many Muslims were inspired by the song to follow Muhammad's example and remain devoted to Allah.
Ishbaluk mamatu Muhammad Nabina Binuru Adina Min Makkah Habibi Nuru Sutahal Madina Min sola solatu With kahalab sifatu Ya badilip dulu masih Ishbaluf mamatu Ya imam na yamin Ya sanad lil muslimin Ya habibi Ya Muhammad Ya ibn Abdillah Dame teri salat tamam Wel habib miskil kitam Tol ya hari waf solati Bada sholi waro Kaalakit bakwanam Wanu syaruk dua syubitu Wakubri usbukun itu Warahmati Muhammad Nabina Binuru Hadina Min Makkah Habibi Nuru Sutahal Madina Min sola solatu Wikahalab sifatu Ya badilif dulu masih Ishbaluk mamatu Ya badilif dulu masih Ishbaluk mamatu
And now, let us proceed to the holy talent of Hinduism. The talent of the contestants of Hinduism showcases the rich culture of India and its association with the religion Hinduism. Odissi and Katha are two classical Indian dances that showcase the stories of Hindu scriptures, and Kun Faya Kun is a famous song in India.
तुझे याद कर लिया है, तुझे याद कर लिया है, आयत की तरह कायम तू हो गई है, कायम तू हो गई है, रिवायत की तरह तुझे याद कर लिया है, मरने तलक रहेगी, मरने तलक रहेगी, तू आदत की तरह तुझे या निजामुद्दीन औलिया, या निजामुद्दीन सरकार,
कदम बढ़ा ले, हदों को मिटा ले,
आजा खाली पल में पीका घर तेरा,
तेरे बिन खाली आजा खालीपन में।
रंगरेजा 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 सजरा सवेरा मेरे
Next, we have the talented Mahayana Buddhism. The Buddha Vandana. The Buddha Vandana dance is representing a prayer where is the first structure of any Kathak performance. The artist starts by praying to the Divine Almighty. This also is a way to pay his or her respect to the Guru before starting the dance.
भगवतो अर्हतो सम्मा सम्बुद्धस्स। शरणं गच्छामि, धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि, बुद्धं शरणं गच्छामि, धम्मं शरणं गच्छामि, संघं शरणं गच्छामि।
And now, let us showcase the divine talent of Theravada Buddhism. This is from Siddhartha. The lotus blossoms, performing a contemporary Buddhist dance, Mansudha Tan Buddha, that demonstrates the spiritual and timeless beauty of Siddhartha's teachings.
देश न जाने भेष न जाने देश न बुद्ध की शुद्ध है वो रंग न जाने वर्ण न माने सबका वो मन मीत है मन शुद्ध है तन बुद्ध है तन शुद्ध है मन बुद्ध है मन शुद्ध है तन बुद्ध है तन शुद्ध है मन बुद्ध है वो बुद्ध है बुद्ध है 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 बुद्ध है देश न जाने देश न जाने देश न बुद्धि की शुद्ध है को दिया के मन के अंधों को दिया के सुनाई बहरों को दो बातें सदियों के गूंगे गाने लगे गाने लगे ये बुद्ध की सेवा प्रसिद्ध है मन शुद्ध है तन बुद्ध है तन शुद्ध है मन बुद्ध है वो बुद्ध है तन बुद्ध है तन शुद्ध है मन बुद्ध है वो बुद्ध है तन बुद्ध है.
And now, on to the last representative among all religions, we have Confucianism. The scholar is a sign that emphasizes the value of knowledge and self-awareness, both of which are necessary for achieving true internal harmony. Confucianism's emphasis on knowledge is one of the key reasons why Chinese people have always put a high value on education.
We are now on the most crucial segment, the speech round.
The contestant will choose only one selected issue from his or her assigned religion. He or she will discuss the said issue in a given time allotment of not more than 90 seconds.
They will be judged according to the following criteria.
Knowledge, 40 points. That includes understanding of the topic, research, and amount of work involved in preparation. Originality, 30 points. That includes authenticity and synthesis of the topic. Organization, 20 points. That includes introduction, development of ideas, and conclusion. Utilization of time, 10 points. That includes the length and amount of information, for a total of 100 points.
Let us begin the speech round with contestant number 1.
Based on the fact that even Western nations adopt the Taoism principles in constructing their buildings in the entire urban development, proves that we must be in harmony with nature to avoid the effects of natural disasters that are so common today. Application of this Taoism proves to be very effective in making green and energy efficient buildings which are beautiful, sustainable, and environmentally friendly. Since humans are mostly powerless against the force of nature, I recommend that we must consider it before making any massive projects like urban development to avoid loss of property and human life. So let's live in harmony with nature. Thank you.
Superstitious belief in Taoism can promote positivity, but it may also lead to irrational decisions. It can cause conflict in many circumstances as they promote superstitious practices that involve sorcery, which is the drawings of signs, chants, and other practices. But these activities are part of their culture which unify their community. They believe that by doing so, they are showing sincerity to their deities, and a sincere heart can reach the heavens. It is their way to pay respect or ask blessings from their source for the reason that this is what they believe in. And I think that we should pay respect on their ways in valuing their culture.
Human rights. The term religion refers to human ethnic and cultural practices that entail sacred, divine, spiritual reverence. It is seen as a way for people to deal with ultimate grief and doom. This is a subject that I think about often. It's on the mind of many church leaders. The younger generations can detect falsehood and superficiality. Second, experiencing God is much more important than knowing God. Some says we are now in the age of the Spirit. Beliefs, orthodoxy, and creeds don't matter if you don't experience God's presence and grace in your own life. Christ can challenge and transform each of us.
Freedom of speech. Justice for all few causes animate our generation like issues of social justice. Once we acknowledge that every individual has inherent human rights, those rights must be protected by law. Many horrendous actions have at one time or another been sanctioned by the law. So how you decide which laws to keep and which to overturn simply because some prejudice remains legal that in no way negates right. But it is an increasingly complex issue in an age of social media trolls, radio phone-ins, and website interactivity. Deciding what's offensive is subjective. The internet is more difficult to monitor and society has yet to find ways to ensure the freedom of speech cannot tip over into personal abuse without sanction. Freedom to manifest one's religion or beliefs shall be subject only to such limitations as are prescribed by law and are necessary in a democratic society in the interest of public safety, for the protection of public order, health, or morals, or for the protection of the rights and the freedom of others.
Considered as the very essence of the Japanese devotion to unseen spiritual beings and power. Unlike other religions, Shintoism has known any founder nor god. The mythology supplied by Shintoism, such as tracing the origin to the deities, particularly Amaterasu, have been traditionally blamed for the perception of the Japanese people as being excessively nationalistic. It has served as a vehicle for patriotism, as a response to the requirements of the Japanese people in the modern world. There are some aspects of Japanese history as they interpret as having divine intervention intervention. As a result, it also became a source of fervent patriotism. The Japanese government, even in the recent time, have played a crucial role in instilling a sense of patriotism to its people. One example of historical event that the Japanese people interpret as having divine intervention was when the Mongols attacked Japan in the 30th century, and the Japanese people believe that they win the war because the kami has been protected and giving them the power to fight against the Mongol. And the state of religion by the Japanese government for a long time strengthened their sense of patriotism, and knowing that Japan is a highly industrialized country, but they are still planting trees in the city because it reflects a Shinto belief as a grove, as a ritual space for deity worship.
We all are part of the whole, and the whole is part of us all. Shintoism does not have clear distinction between what is right and wrong. However, since the most important concept is purity, there are acts of things that are considered evil since they cause or signify impurity. For example, blood is regarded as impure. Shintoism strongly disapproves of the blood pollution. Women who menstruate are considered impure as well as women after childbirth. Even illnesses are seen as sins since they cause unpleasant feelings in other people, which made the kami also dislike them. Being struck by a thunderbolt or being bitten by an insect are also considered a sin. That is considered the worst form of impurity in Shintoism. When a person dies, his or her body is considered the most impure thing. It is believed that the Shinto kami greatly dislike death. Although death is considered the worst form of impurity, that is not to be feared. Shintoists believe that death is a continuation of life, and that even if one dies, he or she will continue to receive the blessings of the kami.
Jewish diaspora and Zionist movement. Zionism, Jewish nationalist movement that has had as its goal the creation and support of the Jewish national state in Palestine, the ancient homeland of the Jews. Hebreo, Eretz, Israel, the land of Israel. Solution. First, beside being a solution to the enervation of the Jewish people. Second, Zionism has been a solution to the denudation of the Holy Land. And lastly, it has also been the solution to the Arab tyrants' problem of how to distract their population from the host of its government-inflicted deprivation.
Anti-Semitism is a security issue for Jewish communities and individuals in regions across the world and the driving force of a range of violent extremist ideologies. Solutions. First is to recognize anti-Semitism as a problem to be addressed internationally. Second, to develop educational programs that address anti-Semitism in a framework of human rights and global citizenship. Third is to build the capacity of educational systems to address anti-Semitism, conspiracy theories, and all other forms of hate speech. Lastly, an increased investment in social cohesion.
Islam is a religion that promotes peace and mercy. Militancy and terrorism are one of the issues of Islamic religion. They do not promote violence such as slaughtering and innocent and helpless individuals in other types of violence that can cause a person's death. The vast majority of extreme and violent terrorist acts do take place in countries with a majority of Muslims and a small numbers of Muslims who are primarily interested in power inside their own communities are responsible for the majority of these attacks, with Muslims serving as their main targets. Religion is just one of the many variables that contribute to unrest and violence. But majority of Muslims reject terrorism and violent extremism. But there are situations that shows the patterns of terrorism that intersect with Islam and terrorism. Because some use violence as a negotiation tactic to achieve a political objective and use it as weapon to engage in war, not just in their religion but in others also. That's why militancy and terrorism are one of the issues of Islamic religion, and it doesn't promote the core teaching of the religion, which are to foster peace and mercy.
Islam and women. This issue is about the rights and freedom of women in Islam. They experienced harsh restrictions and employment opportunities. They don't have the freedom to do what they want because of their responsibilities as women in their homes and as women in their religion. Example, they need to obey their husbands and serve them. They are only responsible of nurturing children and doing house chores. They need to cover their bodies and they are not allowed to be a leader. If you look at them, we may say that this is suffering. Because aside from these responsibilities, they are also being looked down. But if we ask them, why they still continue to be in their religion, it is because they love Allah. They want to show their love, gratitude, and respect towards Allah and towards their religion by doing what Allah commanded them to do. As I end, I want everyone to know that they are more than just their religion. They are more than just their religion. They are a mother, daughter, and a friend. They have rights and freedom to practice. They have hearts to take care of, and dignity to protect.
Poverty has become a major issue in India. 2/3 of the Indian population suffer from poverty. Poverty in India is fueled by the belief in Hinduism in the concept of karma, or the universal casual law in which good or bad actions determine the future modes of an individual's existence. Because of this belief, Hindus who suffer from poverty accept their current status as a form of duty or dharma for what they did in their past lives. The main reasons for poverty in India are overpopulation and industrialization. Another reason why poverty is still prevalent in India is because Hindus do not let greed overcome them. They lead a very simple life at the bare minimum, teaching them that money is not the most important thing. This belief can be a double-edged sword, depending on how adherents apply it to their daily lives.
The caste system is a concerning issue in Hinduism. It is a system of social class composed of the Brahmins, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras, and a system that justifies discrimination. Hindus believe that the caste they belong in is a result of karma, a reflection of what they did in their past lives. Contingent on this belief, Hinduism justifies the unfair treatment of the lower caste members, such as Dalits or untouchables. Furthermore, the lower caste members believe it is their duty or dharma to accept their status in life and do good in the hopes to be reincarnated in a better caste. However, in the present times, where reformists fight for human rights, discrimination against lower caste members are now being eradicated. The vision of Hindus, contrary to the central tenet of Hinduism, believes that all existence is pervaded by a oneness, a unity.
Women in Buddhism. Historically speaking, Siddhartha allows women to participate in the Sangha. Although there were no stipulations, Siddhartha's outlook is very different as when we consider the status of women in ancient India, as being viewed as when we consider the status of women being inferior to men, considered as times belong to the lowest caste. Women's principal role was to become faithful and devoted housewives, subject wives to their husbands. In Buddhism, however, both sexes are seen as equally relevant in society as they share equal responsibilities and their family duties. Within Sangha, Siddhartha recognized the potential and value of the bhikkhunis who were also experts in teaching a dharma.
In Buddhism, war is evil or akusala, and some scholars state that it has no rationalization in Siddhartha's teachings. However, there are instances wherein Buddhist monks engage themselves in open conflict, such as those that occurred in China and Japan. Buddhists defend their nations, home, and family. This may not be necessarily wrong, as the religion's morality is based upon principles, not rules. They may defend and protect their country's sovereignty, and have the duty to join in the struggle for amity and liberty.
Theravada is the oldest of two Buddhist tradition that based their philosophies on the sutras or teaching of Siddhartha Gautama, better known as Buddha. War and violence. The selected issue have nothing to do with Buddhist scripture. It does not give any support to the use of violence as a way to resolve conflict. Nothing in Buddhist scripture gives any support to the use of violence as a way to resolve conflict.
Considered at the time to belong to the lowest caste, women's principal role was to become faithful and devoted housewives, subjects to the whims of their husbands. Some Theravada Sutras state that it is impossible for a woman to be a bodhisattva, which is someone on their way to Buddhahood. These sutras do not deny that women can become awakened, but they are ineligible to lead a Buddhist community. Women are not considered a complete entity in Buddhism. Their bodies are not considered fit to attain enlightenment and become Buddhas. But Siddhartha's perspective is totally different. Since we are all equal in the society, as we share equal responsibilities, all humans are equal in their rights and should be treated the same, no matter who they are or the opinions surrounding them.
Environmental ethics, one of the issues that Confucianism faces today. To think of environmental ethics as part of society is a very Confucian consideration. Confucius often referred to the connection between humanity and heaven, suggesting that all aspects of human activity should be ethically based on the creation of a harmonious society. Confucians realized that humans prosper by living within nature's boundaries. They are refreshed by its beauty, restored by its season, and fulfilled by its rhythm. Human flourishing is thus independent on fostering nature and its variety and abundance. Going against nature's processes is destructive of self and society. So here we are today to hold hands and making little difference we can. Together, let us stand and make this world a wonderful place, not just for us, but for the future generations as well. So only one earth and giving more time for nature.
Female subordination, another issue of Confucianism. A woman's life under Confucianism can be summed up in three periods, known as the three obediences. Obedience to her father while at home, obedience to her husband when married, and obedience to her son when widowed. Women, being at the bottom of Confucian hierarchy, are expected to display ideal behavior and accommodation. They are expected to demonstrate obedience before all other virtues and are not expected to act as independent beings. For critics, it is obvious that the more Confucian the society became, the less freedom the woman enjoyed. In Confucianism, it is not enough to simply appeal to the amorphous idea of gender equality, borrowed from liberal philosophers. Rather, the solution consists in a dialogue between citizens who raise the concern and society as a whole, which they have already familiarized themselves. Female subordination of women never ends for good. Women must be reminded of their place in every generation. As human beings, we were meant to come to each other's aid, to take care of one another, to fight and defend each other's freedom, rights, and voices.
Being Miss World Religion for the past few years, I struggled. I was overwhelmed, and yet I've grown, learned, and indulged the experiences of this path I have taken. This opportunity made me reminisce what I was before joining this competition. I had my own struggles, both financially and emotionally. At that time, my partner and I have no financial support from anyone, but it did not discourage us to find ways and help to create our costumes and prepare ourselves. Secondly, joining pageants like this strongly holds a lot in our pride,
confidence, and mental fortitude. Despite this, here I am, holding my head high, standing and walking with grace, as I proudly say that I made it. We did our best, not just for ourselves, but for the people who have hopes for us. I am grateful for the moral support of our classmates, my advisor, Ma'am Mites, for letting us to represent our section. As your outgoing Miss World Religion, I believe that this title holds a greater responsibility of recognizing diversity and religion all over the world. Religions that would not hinder us from loving, respecting, and caring for each other. This is Crystal Joy Surabilia, your Miss World Religion 2019.
Let us now proceed on the most awaited part of this competition.
Let's start with the minor awards.
Mr. World Religion's popularity. Islam. Miss World Religion's popularity. Islam. Mr. World Religion's Best in Production number. Christianity. Miss World Religion's Best in Production number. Hinduism. Mr. World Religion's Best in Religious Attire. Theravada Buddhism. Miss World Religion's Best in Religious Attire. Theravada Buddhism. Mr. World Religion's Best in Talent. Confucianism. Miss World Religion's Best in Talent. Confucianism. Mr. World Religion's Best in Speech. Hinduism. Miss World Religion's Best in Speech. Islam.
Let's move on with the major awards.
Mr. World Religion's second runner-up. Theravada Buddhism. Miss World Religion's second runner-up. Islam. Mr. World Religion's first runner-up. Taoism. Miss World Religion's first runner-up. Taoism. World Religion's ambassador. Hinduism. World Religion's ambassadress. Confucianism. Mr. World Religions 2023. Confucianism. Miss World Religions 2023. Hinduism.
And that ends the search for Mr. and Miss World Religions 2023 Virtual Edition. See you next year!